So Arman Tsarukyan finishes Dan Hooker in the second round, just as I predicted, although I said by ground and pound and not by submission, but we don't need to go into heavy detail, okay? The point is, Arman Tsarukyan is really good and he needs to fight for the title next. He is the most deserving, but I also think Ilia Topuria versus Arman Tsarukyan is the most interesting fight you can make for Ilia Topuria right now, because it is the most competitive. I understand the Paddy fight is very sellable and the build-up is going to be very exciting because Paddy is a character, but I just don't find it as exciting as Arman versus Topuria. And we're not even gonna bring up Gaethje, okay? This dude should not be fighting for a title next. You're not getting a pity title shot from whining on Twitter, little bro. And I'm tired of people saying Topuria versus Gaethje would be the most exciting fight, because I completely disagree. Topuria's most exciting fight is his most competitive fight, and Justin Gaethje would get slept in the first round. And Arman is just straight up more deserving than those two. He has a win over Charles and he has the most recent win out of the three. Plus, I don't want Ilia to set out until the White House card to fight Makhachev. As the leader of the Ilia Topuria fan club, I want to see him be active and continue sending these lightweights to the Shadow Realm. Plus, a win over Arman would make the Makhachev fight even more hype. And I'm not buying into this whole thing about Ilia Topuria ducking Arman Tsarukyan. You mean he's ducking Arman, who went to a split decision with the guy that Ilia Topuria slept in round 1, to fight Islam Makhachev at 170? Sure, buddy. But speaking of Islam Makhachev, he needs to fight Ian Garry in the meantime, who just got himself a win against Belal, which I think makes him the most deserving contender even over Shavkat. And that's not just because he beat Belal, but it's also because of the fact that he beat Carlos Praze as well. And since Shavkat beat Ian Garry, he's been up to nothing. Plus, Ian Garry versus Makhachev is a very sellable fight. It's Soy McGregor versus Khabib 2.0, Ireland versus Dagestan Part 2. Hamza fans are Islam fans as well, so even that little run-in he had with Hamza backstage promotes this fight, because the quote-unquote Dagestani fans are gonna want to see the guy who was quote-unquote disrespectful to Hamza get punished. And by the way, I have no clue what that whole situation was about. They seemed cool, but all of a sudden Hamza crashed out. I guess Ian was a little bit too rough with the trap grab or something, and Hamza took that as disrespect. But I don't know, man, that literally might just be a cultural difference. Maybe Irish people are a little bit more touchy and rough when they greet people, but where Hamza is from, that seemed like as disrespect or something. And Ian Garry just has an annoying belittling tone to his voice as well. But honestly, I thought it was pretty lame by Hamza. Ian Garry kind of little broed him afterwards too. He was like, "You're a champion, don't behave like a child. Your friend just won, don't take away from his victory." So I almost became an Ian Garry fan for a moment, but then at the press conference I was like, yeah, this guy's just so annoying. So I completely understand Hamza. Maybe he just thought, "Brother, get this annoying guy out my face, brother," and just snapped on him. But if it boiled down to, oh, this guy grabbed my shoulder a little too hard, it's kind of lame of him to crash out like that. And it was also funny how he said on Twitter, "By the way, people forget, man, he's that Twitter champion. White boy, you wouldn't survive a minute in my world." First of all, you're literally from the Caucasus Mountains. You're not from Chirac like Belal, a real driller. And second of all, you can't be talking about, "Brother, you wouldn't survive a minute in my world, brother," when you're coming off that performance against DDP. Wet blanketed DDP for 25 minutes straight. Like, it would be different if he was coming off a first round sub, or a performance like Arman's where you're smashing your opponent's face with elbows, which is the kind of grappling we all want to see, by the way. That kind of ground and pound honestly reminded me of Khabib's ground and pound. But the point is, you can't say this stuff when you're coming off a Belal-like performance. You can't say this stuff when you're fighting once every 2 years. And plus, stop ducking Andreas Gustafsson. But I think that's enough yap for today, guys. I got a little bit off topic at the end, but make Ilia versus Arman and Makhachev versus Ian Garry, then Makhachev versus Ilia at the White House. But if you're interested in who would win between Makhachev and Ian Garry, you should check out this video. But anyways, thanks for watching. Leave a like, subscribe for some of the best yap on MMA YouTube. Am I just an Ian Garry glazer? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and also don't forget to share this video to every Arman fan you know, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye!